Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Movesets video. Today's video is going to be all about Ambipom, so let's get started by taking a look at this Pokemon's typing, abilities, and stats. So to start things off, Ambipom is a normal type Pokemon introduced into Generation 4 as the evolution to Apom, and has access to 3 abilities. The first of which being Pickup, which unfortunately is an ability that is incredibly situational and virtually not usable in competitive battles. But its second ability, Technician, is possibly one of the best abilities that this Pokemon can have access to, as it increases the power of any attack that has 60 base power or less by 50%, and this includes each individual hit of multi-hitting moves. And speaking of those multi-hitting moves, this Pokemon's hidden ability, known as Skill Link, allows this Pokemon without fail to hit every single time, which is a maximum of 5 times with most multi-hitting moves that it gets, allowing it to have incredibly powerful attacks if it has access to them. But for its stats, defensively this Pokemon is quite frail, with base 75 HP, 66 defense, and 66 special defense, meaning that you do have to be careful when using it because it's not going to be able to take hits too well. But offensively, this Pokemon is quite good, with a base 100 physical attack and a base 115 speed stat, making it quite physically offensive and fast on the battlefield. And lastly, its special attack, while only base 60, is quite low. However, this Pokemon does have a reliable way of boosting the stat to possibly make it useful in battle if you want to run a more interesting special attacking set for this Pokemon that I'll be showing you later. But with that, let's take a look at the first moveset that I have for you in this video. So for this first moveset, we're going to start by showing off basically what is now the updated version of what should be the standard Ambipom moveset that you're most likely going to run into and even use yourself. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a Jolly Nature to increase its speed but lower its special attack, and then going with the Technician ability. And for the EVs, maxing out our physical attack and speed with 252 EVs into both of those, with the remainder 4 into its special defense. And for the item on the set, either going with the Silk Scarf to increase the damage of all normal type attacks that you go for, or a Focus Sash to allow you to survive from full HP at least one hit, which can be very useful when using this Pokemon as a lead, or just in a last-ditch effort if you've managed to prevent hazards from being set up on the field for the entirety of the battle. But for the moves, the first one that we're going to be using on the set is going to be Fake Out, which is going to be your main stab priority normal type move that will both be boosted by Technician and the Silk Scarf if you do go with that item. And Fake Out on Ambipom is just essentially free damage. You switch in, you fake out something, it flinches, and then you can switch out pretty much and just get that damage off right away. And the cool thing about this is because it's priority, it allows Ambipom to actually be a really great revenge killer on this type of set. But for our second attack, we actually now have the option of running Tail Slap thanks to the Ultra Sun and Moon games, which is going to allow this Pokemon to actually have access to its most powerful normal type move, so long as you hit at least 3 or more times. And these individual hits of Tail Slap will all be boosted by Technician, giving this move insane power. As for its third option though, we're going to go with Knock Off to be a powerful dark type move to hit opposing ghost types super effectively that would be immune to your normal type attacks, or possibly running Taunt on this set to allow this Pokemon to prevent its opponents from using any non-attacking moves, which can be very useful. And finally, for the last move, going with U-Turn to allow this Pokemon to have a reliable way to not only gain switch initiative, but switch in and out of battle very freely because of its high speed stat and be quite a nuisance to your opponents. As for this next moveset, we're going to be running a choice to Ambipom. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a Jolly Nature, the Technician ability, and the same EV spread as before, but for the item, going with either a Choice Band to increase our physical attack while locking us into a move, or a Choice Scarf to increase our speed while locking us into a move. And for those moves, again, Tail Slap is going to be your main stab normal type move now that it has access to this, and then again we're going to go with Knock Off and U-Turn like on the previous set for the same reasons as stated before. But all of these moves will either be boosted in power more so than on the previous set with the use of the Choice Band, or be able to be used more easily through the use of the Choice Scarf, because Ambipom is already ridiculously fast as is, and when you slap a Choice Scarf on it, there's virtually nothing that will be outspeeding it unless it also has a Choice Scarf or a speed boost of some kind. But for the last move on the set, we have 2 options. The first of which being Switcheroo, which can allow you to actually trick your Choice Band or Choice Scarf onto an opponent, thus locking them possibly into an unfavorable move and granting you a new item in the process, or going with Fake Out here, which might seem weird on a choiced set, but specifically when you use Fake Out in combination with the choice band, it essentially just allows Ambipom to switch in and fire off a ridiculously powerful Fake Out, because you're obviously having the boosted power from the item and also the Technician ability, and this can just be really great for having a priority move even on a set where you're locked in, but keep in mind that you will always have to immediately switch out after you go for Fake Out, so that can be a little bit of a drawback, but it's still a very powerful priority move to consider even though you are locking yourself into it. As for the third moveset of this video, we're going to be running Ambipom in a way that seeks to boost its physical attack or speed stat further to make it even more of a threatening offensive Pokemon. So we're going to start this one off by giving it either a Jolly Nature to boost its speed but lower its special attack, or an Adamant Nature to boost its physical attack but lower its special attack, and then going either with the Technician or the Skill Link ability, which I'll talk a little bit more about in just a second. But again, we're going to be going with the same EV spread as before, and for the item this time though, we're going to be running either a Life Orb to increase the damage of all of our attacks at the cost of losing 10% of our health every time we damage an opponent, or going with Normalium Z, specifically to be used in combination with one of the first move slots on the set, which is that of Workup, which normally by itself will be boosting your physical attack and your special attack by one stage, but when used in combination with Normalium Z, will actually also boost your physical attack by an additional stage, making you considerably more powerful, which is a really cool option to go with. But if boosting your speed is more your style, going with agility here will allow this Pokemon to be ridiculously fast and virtually untouchable by anything other than priority that your opponent might be packing. But for your first main normal type attack on the set, we're again going to be going with Tail Slap because it's so great that it now gets this in Ultra Sun and Moon. And additionally, this move will be boosted by Technician, or can be given its full 5 turns every single time through the use of the Skill Link ability. And it's important to distinguish the fact that while using Technician could potentially net you more damage when using Tail Slap, Skill Link gives you more consistent damage overall. So it's really whichever one you want to choose because of how inconsistent this move can be if you get only 2 hits with it running the Technician set. But in addition to this, we're then again going to be running Knockoff to have that powerful Dark type move to remove items and also hit ghosts. And then for the last move on the set, giving you additional coverage by running either Low Kick or Fire Punch, specifically allowing this Pokemon a reliable way to deal with opposing Steel types, also because they are quite heavy a lot of the time, which is why Low Kick can come into play very nicely. But Fire Punch can also be a great option to run as well for opposing Steel types that might not be as affected by Low Kick. Finally, for the last moveset of this video, as promised, I was going to be showing you a special attacking set that Ambipom can run. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a Timid Nature to boost its speed but lower its physical attack, and going with the Technician ability. But for the EVs this time, we're going to start by first maxing out its special attack with 252 into that, 4 into its special defense, and then also max out its speed set like on all the other sets with 252 EVs into that stat. And again, like on the previous one, we're going to be running a Life Orb to boost the damage of all of our attacks at the cost of losing 10% of our health every time we damage our opponent. But for the moves, on this set, the first thing that we're going to be going with is going to be Nasty Plot, which is really the only reason why this set can even work, because Nasty Plot will be boosting your special attack stat by 2 stages, thus making this Pokemon considerably more specially offensive. And to go along with this, the first move that we're going to be using for our purposes of stab is either going to be Round or Swift, both of which being 60 base power moves boosted up to 90 as a result of the Technician ability. But the differences between the two are very subtle, but they do exist, with Round being a sound type attack, meaning that it will be able to bypass substitutes, but also be blocked by Pokemon with the soundproof ability, whereas Swift will always have 100% accuracy, but doesn't have the sound typing associated with. Both moves do virtually the same exact thing, and it's really personal preference whichever one you want to go with. But on the left side of things, our second attack is going to be Shadow Ball, which is going to be allowing us to hit Ghost types super effectively. That would be obviously immune to your normal type stab. And then we're also going to be running Hidden Power Ground, which again is another move that will be boosted by Technician up to 90 base power, which will allow this Pokemon a reliable way to deal with opposing Steel and Rock types that are going to be resisting your normal type stab. On the right side of things though, we can go with the really great Bolt Beam combo by running Thunderbolt, which is actually a better option than Shockwave because Thunderbolt can paralyze, whereas Shockwave cannot. And they both have the exact same power, and then running this with Hidden Power Ice to be your Ice Beam on the set, because Hidden Power Ice will be boosted up to 90 base power when used with the Technician ability, giving you some really amazing type coverage overall. But no matter how you want to run this set, with Shadow Ball, Hidden Power Ground, Thunderbolt, or Hidden Power Ice, it will still allow Ambipom to be a very interestingly offensive special attacker that is quite a bit more surprising to run into than the standard sets that I've been showing you earlier. But anyways, everybody, that is it for my video on Ambipom, one of my favorite 4th gen Pokemon. So thank you all for watching, and as always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.